Good morning, my friends. Welcome to today's training, another impromptu training from me. If you're new to me, I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents or survivors of narcissistic abuse create a happy life by helping them heal the trauma bond, discover and become who they are, and create happy relationships in their world. So before we get started with today's topic, which is about reclaiming your empathy, I'm going to share this quickly out to the community. The community is your safe haven here on the internet, where you can find guidance, you can find solace, you can find companionship, community, understanding in your journey, that you're not alone in this and that you're also not crazy, that you have gone through a special kind of hell and that there is a way out of it. And that is what we discuss in Thriving Beyond Codependency, the community. And it's what we explore. You got tools, you got my trainings, you get special opportunities to work with me in my courses. You also get access to the brilliance of our members and their insights in their journey as they're going through the same thing you are. So you can find a link above on Facebook, below on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for being here. Okay, so empathy. In codependency, empathy is like the thing we do. We go out and we empathize with what people are feeling and going through. We do this especially well because it's one of our primary factors of getting a sense of connection and value in relationship to others. Because, growing up, that's where we found we had a lot of power. It's where we found we had a lot of capability. Hey, if I feel empathy or feel sorrow or care for the impact or for the feelings my parent is having, then and they respond to me. They like that. They appreciate. They give me attention. They give me love. They give me praise. You feel valuable. You feel seen. You feel useful. This is why our empathy becomes really, really pronounced. Hi, Rita. I'm good this morning. It's important for us to explore this dynamic because, well, we don't have boundaried empathy. We have porous empathy. We have empathy that just kind of goes everywhere, and it compels us to do things that lead us into toxic situations that put us in harm's way. For instance, and for example, it comes with people who are abusive to us. We bypass the abuse and empathize with the trauma that caused their behavior. Think about this for a minute. You're traumatized. Are you out there abusing people? Are you out there calling them names, doing terrible things, gaslighting them, twisting things around, lying, things like that? I know the broadcast is having interruptions, so I'll post the full version when it gets up to YouTube. But it's really important to recognize that abusive behavior isn't necessarily a product of trauma. It's a product of how a person thinks, specifically about an element of entitlement to behave that way, to displace pain onto another. Okay? So when the codependent empathizes with the trauma behind an abusive behavior, you're bypassing the impact of that behavior. You're bypassing the accountability that's necessary for that person to receive, and you're ignoring your well-being and your safety. So we got to retrieve our empathy from that. We got to bring it home. We got to boundary that empathy and allow that empathy to become part of our well-being. We have to empathize with the impact we've experienced, what we are going through. We need to turn that empathy inward and care about how it's affecting us. By doing this, we start to put ourselves in what I call first position. How do I feel? What do I need? It's not about what they feel, and it's not about what they need at this point. It's about what you need and what you feel, because this allows you to execute boundaries. It allows you to identify what needs to be changed. It allows you to have an honest and clear, sober relationship with the experience that's going on. So that's one element of retrieving empathy or reclaiming your empathy back. The second element to this is that a lot of times we feel like empathy is the thing we need to do in a situation. Like, it's the thing. That's what we do. We empathize. But is that true? Is that actually what you feel in the situation? Or are you bypassing feelings of indifference, anger, frustration, attack, like being overwhelmed? Are you ignoring your other feelings and then going, well, gotta have empathy here, so you force or compel yourself to empathize? See, your empathy isn't something someone's entitled to, and it isn't the right response all the time in situations. Sometimes the right response is a good flat no, stop doing that, especially if you're being harmed or hurt. You don't need to empathize with where they came from. You need to stand up for yourself. You gotta empathize with you. If you're compelling your empathy out of you, you're draining yourself. You're exceeding your own capacity. And that's going to cut you off from your ability to take care of yourself. It's also going to blind you to what else you feel about situations. It's really, really, really important to bring back to you what matters. And that means your feelings, your awareness, your needs, your wants. You. See, empathy isn't the avoiding of self. It's like, well, I don't exist, but I'll empathize. No. In an interaction where there's empathy applied, you exist too. You're real there too. So you got to slow that train down and go, what do I feel here? Because you may feel empathy and you may feel anger. You may feel empathy and you may feel sadness or confusion, right? There's more to you than just this empathetic impulse. And that's important because you deserve to know you. They deserve to have an honest experience of you so that the relationship can fundamentally be honest. So that is that's the other element of reclaiming your empathy. And the last element is going a little bit of the opposite, okay? It's to access your indifference. It's to access your right not to care. Because you're going to find out real fast how much you actually care and how much you don't. Because we don't sometimes care. Sometimes we're like, that sucks. And you go on with your day. You don't have to constantly press into the empathy. You don't have to conjure it up if it's not there. You get a chance to actually access the rest of you and say, wow, I don't really actually care about this. I'm sorry that's happening. I'm going to go on with my day. See, this allows you to have more boundary in empathy, more boundary in your emotional experience in life. It allows you to have more power in your well-being. It allows you to know you and to show up in an honest way. So that is today's training. Pretty simple, pretty to the point, I guess. I will post the uninterrupted version once it gets uploaded to YouTube after we get done with live mentoring hours here with my students. Thank you again for showing up. Next week is holiday week, so you'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 videos from me, so don't be surprised if I'm not very active then. Be safe. Be kind with yourselves, guys. Look at where your empathy, you're compelling your empathy in your world. Bring it back home. Apply it to you. Explore your right not to care. Discover what you find there, especially when it comes to abusive dynamics. Because one of the biggies with codependency is we tolerate the abuse because we empathize with their trauma rather than empathizing with ourselves and the impact we've received. We got to turn that around. We have to put ourselves in first position and on ourselves, because that's how we get healthy, and that's how we know what to do with relationships that are like that. Okay? Well, there you go. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping, and that I believe you and I believe in you. I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.